Hello. In this video, I'm going to talk about the foundation of our communication with the dogs that we work with. So, our foundation of everything, you could say, our communication on the lead, our communication with our energy, our connection with the dog, our relationship, our foundation of our relationship with them, this all comes through the Jentle method. So, when you're moving through Oregon Tales online and you see a video, let's say, talking about recall or leave it, or like moving with a dog to get them to not pull on us, or like home behaviors, like a dog barking in the home or outside of the home. I don't think we've done it yet, but like doing like the dog in their bed in the home, traveling with them. In all of these situations, we're using the principles of the Jentle method. So we're using the communication, the physical exercises, like the movement of the dog's feet. That all comes from the Jentle method. And I wanted to mention this because I want to emphasize the importance of learning the Jentle method if a person is interested in learning how we move through life with dogs, and just emphasize that foundation being built in the Jentle method. So moving through the Jentle method gives us as the handler, as the guide, tools to know how to communicate with a dog through an ask, through a bump, through a feel on the lead. How to hold our hand and our hand placement, what the different exercises of the Jentle method look like and feel like in our hand. And then an understanding of the dog that we're working with as well, and how they feel in these exercises, how this dog feels in step 5, how they feel in step 1, what heavy feels like to them, what light feels like to them, what connection feels like. How connected are they with their eye contact and their body movements? So it's giving us this foundation for the dog, and then it's also giving the dog a foundation. So they understand what we're meaning when we use these forms of communication because we've built this foundation with them. They understand that a slip lead and a noseband are soothing tools, that the application of the communication is something that they're familiar with, so that when we go to apply it within the pack or on a walk with a dog or in the home, we're not kind of blindsiding the dog with this communication. They understand it and they have a relationship with it. It feels good to them. So when we apply it, it can help de-escalate their energy and shift their mindset, you could say. It's also helping us by working in the foundation first, so that when we do wind up on a walk with a dog, or working on a dog barking in the home, or socializing them, we are not also learning how to use the tool and the movements at the same time as helping to try to change a behavior. That's a lot to ask of a person, and that's a lot to ask of a dog, to be there while we are learning and trying to help them through a situation. What's more cordial is us understanding and building our foundation and understanding of the Jentle method and what we're doing before we go into a situation where we may need to apply it and help them find more peace in that environment. You know, it's hard to bring a dog peace if you don't have understanding of what you're doing. So I wanted to emphasize the importance of working through the Jentle method and working through the principles of the Jentle method. Because as you'll find in all other places of life, we're using that communication. We're using the moves, we're using the footwork, we're using the feeling, we're using the connection, we're using the de-escalation through the gentle method, the forms of communication on the lead, and the tool itself. Like if a dog's not on a long line or off lead, they're on a slip lead or the noseband. And even when they are off lead or on a long line, we can still use a feel, we can still use a bump, we can still use an ask. So I recommend that people start in the gentle method first and build that understanding with a dog of yourself, of your relationship, and then about how the dog feels. And the dog gets to build that understanding too. You're giving them that opportunity to learn in a more neutral environment where they might not be overcome with a lot of feelings, like they might going into a place where they are a little bit more activated, you could say. So doing that work first and then using that as your foundation to move through life with a dog. Something that you can return to if they feel lost or overexcited or you want to help them overcome a situation. You have that foundation. You know how to move them. They know how to give. You know how to give. You understand the principles and the steps of the gentle method, and so does the dog. And so if there's an instance where the dog might feel lost, you have the tools and they have the understanding and the foundation to return to it together. You get to return to that foundation together because you've established it, because you've built it. It's just maybe the dog gets a little lost from that foundation and you bring them back to it. And same with yourself. You know, there are some situations that we get in with dogs that are triggering and they can be challenging, especially if a dog has a very big feeling of their own. That can move us as people. But if we have this more established understanding of the gentle method, it doesn't move us, or it doesn't move us as much because we can just go back to our foundation. If there's this bigger moment is happening, we can go to that foundation in ourself, go back to the simplicity of the gentle method, and look for steps towards more neutral. So it's beneficial for the dog because they have those feelings that they can return to, that foundation, but so do we as the handler. And so it can help us as well be more neutral and be more of a guide in these moments instead of maybe getting reactive when the dog might be reactive in overexcitement or in fear, forward, fear backwards, etc. But instead of kind of joining in with them, we can set that example to bring them back to that foundation and then use the gentle method to bring them back to that foundation. And then we can leave the situation. So it's very important. If you're moving through OTO, you'll probably notice it that, you know, in life, through the other, you know, through lifestyle and philosophy and through the pack, we're using the gentle method. So it's important to build that foundation in the gentle method before we go and set ourselves up for big learning experiences. So I hope that's helpful. Thank you.